Hello my friends, my name is Heather. Welcome back to my channel. But today we're here to talk about what I want to read in July. And I've got a pretty fun reading month, and I'm gonna be honest. I want to participate in Summerween this year, but it just is not likely because Summerween is the same time as the show opening. So I'm in a production of Children of Eden, and we have dress rehearsals and everything during Summerween. So I'm gonna be doing Summerween Light, where I'm just reading the scary, spooky books along with everybody, but I'm not necessarily going to be pressuring myself to stick to all the prompts, and I'm not gonna be daily vlogging like I was last year. I will be vlogging, taking you along with the spooky reads and with the production and the behind the scenes stuff. So let's just dive into the books that I want to read this July. So the first book is one I actually already finished, but I'm gonna go ahead and put it on my TBR so that you guys, it fits the timeline, and that is Never Lie by Frida McFadden. I have a little video experiment right now where I am reading books by authors I have enjoyed in the past. I did like The Housemaid, and so I figured I would read Never Lie. Watch the vlog that's coming up soon for my reaction to that. But this is a book about a couple who is going to look at a house. It ends up being the house of this psychiatrist who either went missing or was murdered or something, and the couple makes some discoveries in the house along the way that might lead you to believe that not everything is as peaceful as it seems. Spooky, scary, good time? I hope so. Speaking of spooky, scary good times, there's a reason I'm just holding up the dust jacket of this book, because I am in the middle of it, and that is Middle of the Night by Riley Sager. I love a Riley Sager thriller. I look forward to them every single summer, and this summer is no exception. This book follows Ethan, who has moved back to his childhood home and also the location of where his best friend went missing when they were 10 years old. They were camping out in the backyard, and his best friend was snatched from the tent. And Ethan hasn't really come to terms with this in the last 30 years. Ethan kind of starts to get haunted by a presence that he believes might be somebody playing tricks on him, or might be the ghost of Billy. We're not sure, but we're here to find out what really happened to Billy in the middle of the night. And I'm just having a good time with this one so far. Next up is the series read-along book for my Patreon, City of Brass. I did intend to start this last month and follow the 6-week reading guide. However, I'm just going to be reading this next week. This is also going to be an exclusive vlog for my patrons, so just a quick little plug for that. But we are reading the Daevabad trilogy over there, and every other month we are picking up one of these books. So the live show for this one will be July 30th. All I know about this is it's kind of an Egyptian-based epic fantasy, and I'm very excited to dive into the lush world I know S.A. Chakraborty has written. I loved her other book, The Adventure of Amina al-Sarafi, so I'm very excited to read her first series. It has kind of become a tradition for me to read this next author's books on a very specific trip I take every year, and that is Ashley Poston. Last year, when my best friend and I went to watch DCI Drum Corps International, we made like a day trip out of it. He had to work in a coffee shop. I was still on summer break, so I brought the 7-year slip with me and read that whole book during the span of that day, and I intend to do the same thing with a novel love story this year. We are going to see DCI again. It will be a work day for him, so I'm sure we will be finding a coffee shop to get some stuff done at, and I will be taking this book along with me. I don't know much about it, but I'm pretty sure we're following some sort of English or literature professor who loves love stories, and she goes on a trip with her friends only to wake up in the small town setting of one of her favorite series, and maybe a love story ensues. And we're kind of looking at whether fiction or reality is better when it comes to love and life. I may have that all wrong. I'm not reading the synopsis because I just know I'm gonna love this book, and I love her writing. So both like the trip to DCI and this book combined together just make me really happy, and I can't wait to read it. You guys know, if you've been following along, that every month I am receiving a book in the mail from this Sisterhood of the Traveling Books thing that I'm doing with some of my friends. We are each reading a book, annotating it, and then mailing it to the next person. And after 4 months, we will get our original book back. So this month, I have the book Nestings by Nat Cassidy. And it's funny how much horror I have started to integrate into my life, but the truth is I'm kind of loving it. So this book, I'm just gonna read the back because I don't feel like I'm gonna do a very good job explaining it. But I mean, look at that cover. Like I said, I'm still gonna be reading the spooky, scary books for Summerween, even if I'm not sticking to a prompt, this one included. But the back says, Anna and Reed needed a lucky break. The horrifically complicated birth of their first child has left Anna paralyzed, bitter, and struggling with mobility, with her relationship with Reed, and with resentment for her baby. That's about to change with the words any New Yorker would love to hear: affordable housing lottery. They've won an apartment in the Deptford, one of Manhattan's most revered buildings, with beautiful vistas of Central Park and stunning architecture. Reed dismisses disturbing events, and Anna's deep unease and paranoia as the price of living in New York. People are odd, but he can't explain the needle-like bite marks on his baby. What the heck? I don't really know what I'm going to be getting into with this book. I think it's going to tackle like fears regarding motherhood, regarding like relationships. I don't know how well I'm going to relate to this book, like not being a mother, but I'm very interested, and I think that the last two people who read this one ended up liking it, so I hope that I fall into the same category. Next up, this book is actually in my show backpack right now, but it's also on Kindle Unlimited. This book has appeared on multiple, and I mean multiple TBRs, but I'm actually about to start reading it, I promise. Friend Zone by Abby Jimenez. I don't know anything about this book other than it's a romance and Abby wrote it, and I have been told not to read it backstage because the emotions might get too overwhelming and I might go on stage crying, so we'll see about that. But I have loved everything I've read by Abby Jimenez, and I can't see this one being any different. I know there's mixed opinions on it. I know I've talked about it in other TBRs, so we're sticking to it this month. I'm reading The Friend Zone in July. Not only that, I'm reading it this week. One of the Discord reading groups that I am in has decided that we are going to be picking up 5 Broken Blades at the end of July. This one was a Book of the Month pick. It's a Red Tower pick. I did not get the pretty pages since I got it from Book of the Month, but let's read the synopsis of this chunky fantasy. It says, "It's the season for treason. The king of Yusan must die. The 5 most dangerous liars in the land have been mysteriously summoned to work together for a single objective: to kill the god King June." I don't need to know more than that. I know Carrie can read. Loved this book. Most of her recommendations work for me, so I'm excited to get to it. Fantasy, assassins, kill the king, heist. Let's do it. I hope I like it. Even if I don't, it's always fun to read with other people, so there's also that. Another buddy read that I will be doing in the month of July with my friend Em is Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir. Again, I don't know much about it other than it's sci-fi and it's gotten rave reviews. I've talked about this book on my channel without having read it, and I feel like I would just be redundant to keep talking about it. It's also going to be a movie with Ryan Gosling, so I need to read the book. And again, it's always fun to read a book with a friend. Another book I need to read this month is my In Real Life book club pick, and that is Sure, I'll Join Your Cult. I can't remember who it's by. I found it on Everand. I'll put the picture with the author's name up here as well. This is nonfiction. I think it's gonna be comedy, but it's also gonna deal with cults. I don't know, but I'm gonna read it. Probably get some crocheting, some diamond painting, some Sudoku, some happy color done while I listen, maybe go on some walks. But hey, I got another nonfiction. I think I've only read 1 nonfiction this year, so this will be very good to add to my nonfiction list for sure. Then the last book officially going on my TBR, but probably not the last book I'll read because July is always a high reading month for me, is Holly by Stephen King. Like I said, I'm just in like a thriller, mystery, horror mood right now. And last year in July, I read Pet Sematary by Stephen King, and I just feel like July is a really good month to get to his books. When Penny Doll calls the Finders Keepers Detective Agency, hoping for help locating her missing daughter, Holly is reluctant to accept the case. Her partner, Pete, has COVID. Her very complicated mother has just died, and Holly is meant to be on leave. But something in Penny Doll's desperate voice makes it impossible for Holly to turn her down. Mere blocks from where Bonnie Doll disappeared lives Professors Rodney and Emily Harris. They are the picture of bourgeois respectability. Married octogenarians devoted to each other and semi-retired lifelong academics. But they are harboring an unholy secret in the basement of their well-kept, book-lined home. One that may be related to Bonnie's disappearance. And it will prove nearly impossible to discover what they are up to. They are savvy, they are patient, and they are ruthless. Holly must summon all her formidable talents to outthink and outmaneuver the shocking, twisted professors in this chilling new masterwork from Stephen King. Now this one came out like last year, I think. I don't know, something about this just screams July to me. It's kind of red, white, and blue coded. I don't know. It's the Stephen King that I'm going to be reading this year. For my July Stephen King book. My friend Hannah at the Teacher's TBR read this several months ago. It might have even been last year, and she had a pretty good review for it. She did say it's long and that parts of it were a little bit slow, but I don't know. I really think I like Stephen King. Who am I? I don't know. So that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 books. Last year in July, I read 11. I can do it. I can do it. Do you believe in me? That's what I need to know, especially with a show in the middle of the month. I can do it. I can totally do it. If you live in the States, I hope you have a happy Independence Day. If you're a teacher like me, I hope you're enjoying your summer break and not thinking about the fact that it is about to be over before we know it. And I don't know, I'm just very thankful for you guys. I hope you're all having a lovely, lovely summer, and I will see you guys in another video very soon. Bye, guys.